Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? This your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Today is a hot and steamy Sunday, June 23rd, 2019. And I'm going to be very, very brief in this little video. As you can see, I got it titled, "When a Man's Ways Pleases God, He will cause even his enemies to be at peace with him." Now, briefly, without going into too much detail, I always have been the type of person, if I say something wrong, I'm going to correct it. If I am wrong about something, I'm going to apologize. I've always been that kind of person where you, hello, Miss Red. I've always been that kind of person that I believe in dignity. I believe in honor. I believe in pride. You know what I'm saying? I believe in nobility. And anybody that knows me and has been watching the real news behind the news as we've evolved over the years, know that when I'm wrong and I say something publicly and I'm wrong, I will admit it. Now, over the last 5-6 months, there's been an issue here in Shreveport where back in February a citizen was shot by the police. Now, throughout that whole time and even to now, I believe that there's a whole lot more to that story that we're being told, and that there's a cover-up, and I still stand by that. But at the same time, personally, a lot of people criticize me for a video that I did yesterday where I acknowledged that this one person, this police officer, that I have been over the last 5 months viciously and maliciously attacking publicly, and a lot of times I was attacking this man on information that we thought was credible at one time, but comes back to be false. So, to make a long story short, there was a lot of hostility between myself and the Shreveport Police Department. I'm not going to say negative hostility, but a lot of hostility. I'm involved with the police department on 3-4 personal levels here. 3-4 personal levels that some people that are actually taking a situation, a very serious situation, and in a sense, using it to further political gains, financial gains off of the community and 501c3s, I don't know, man, it's crazy, but they seem to take offense that yesterday I was stopped, and the officer who originally stopped me was Jackson. So let me clear that up. Like I said, I do these videos, man, on the spur of the moment. I don't have no script. I just go off the head. But during that process, Officer Brooks came up on the scene. Now, I'm going to be real. It does seem like they had a GPS on me. Yesterday, the way they ran up on me, man, it had to be some kind of coordination, or it had to be a divine intervention, because, make a long story short again, this man now who I maliciously and viciously attacked, and a lot of times with false accusation, he did a noble thing yesterday. Now, that doesn't excuse my previous beliefs about this officer, but yesterday, in my personal situation, he did a noble thing. And everything he did was according to the law. Alright? Now, these same people that criticizing me for acknowledging that noble deed, let me ask you a question. If I went to jail yesterday, would you burn me out? I don't think so. Because 9 times out of 10, the ones who are complaining never really ever accepted the real news behind the news, because of the way I am. I'm forward, I'm frank, I can be vulgar, I can be conceited, I can be aggressive. I'm all those things. I don't boast about it, but that's who God created me to be. And again, as a man, I acknowledge noble deeds, man. Because if I went to jail and all that, they took my vehicle, how many of you Negroes that, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just keeping it real, how many of you Negroes would have been volunteering to get me and my son back and forth to football practice? You know what I'm saying? Or get us to the grocery store. Or this. None. Nobody. So when I acknowledge a deed that I know that only the Creator could have allowed to come out the way that it did, yeah, I'm going to acknowledge that noble deed, man. No matter what my previous beliefs are. And I still hold to the fact that, yes, we believe Officer Brooks and the Shreveport the Police Department has to be accountable. And there's an investigation going on, and we plan to see it through the end. But I know that right now, it's crazy for me to keep antagonizing the Shreveport Police Department when I got other issues outside of this issue that I volunteered to put my voice behind. So this is what we'll do. From this point on, I'll follow that issue and I'll support it, but only from behind the scenes. So, because if you all got a problem with what I said, then maybe we don't need to be on riding in the same car. I'll help in any way I can, but publicly, I'll digress from that whole situation and let y'all have it, And it's just, I'm not going to sit up here and see somebody who could have did me. And it would have been doing me dirty, but who could have just straight slaughtered me and took me away from my son, took our means of transportation or whatever. That was a noble deed, man, especially when I didn't attack this man personally, so viciously and maliciously in public. You know what I'm saying? I should offer my, my respect for what he did in public. You know what I'm saying? Miss Ray, did you go back and look at a video I did yesterday, again, where I was involved in a traffic stop, and one of the officers involved in the traffic stop, there's been somewhat a lot of tension and hostility in the air between us, and a lot of that is my fault because, again, I've maliciously and, attacked this man vindictively out of spite, really out of anger, because a lot of the people that say they mad with me really, don't understand how passionate I am about something. And then too, the black community in public, there's in general, there's so little support for this serious issue of getting that murder solved that it gets frustrating. So I turned around and internalized it against that officer. And over the last few months, I was making a lot of rash, brash, really, in some case, vulgar, aggressive statements, But that was out of anger and frustration of the situation, again, with the lack of support, even from the people who were saying that they're on the forefront of fighting this issue, And again, I don't mean to offend nobody. And I know I definitely offended this gentleman. And then he caught me in a situation where he could have literally destroyed my life in one moment. And he acted noble, man. And I had to give respect to that, even if it's an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when the ways of a man please the Lord, he will cause even your enemies to be at peace with you. And that's what happened yesterday. But at the same time, that doesn't change the way I feel. It's just that publicly now, I'm going to step back from that whole situation and focus on other things because, again, I'm trying to be self-sufficient. None of these people are supporting me. You know what I'm saying? So really, why would I care what they say? Well, again, if I went to jail, when none of them bombed me out, I couldn't even call. They probably wouldn't even accepted my phone call. Maybe now there's one or two people over the last few weeks God has blessed to really support us. Spiritually, physically, they have been a blessing to us. But, man, I'm struggling out here, man. And if I went to jail, man, that'd threw everything that I'm trying to work for away. And when this man had a chance to do that, he didn't. And so some people kind of got their feathers ruffled behind this hand that I sold out. But at the same time, quite a few of them are using this one issue to further their political careers. I'm going to give you an example of how things go. I'll show you the real game. Now, in that sagging ordinance, even though the police was using that to target our teenagers, a lot of black people profited off of that. That's selling out. It was black people actually that created and pushed that legislation. And then you had black politicians who was getting rich off the system every time one of them kids get a charge. You know what I'm saying? I'll explain that later in another video. But the frustration with a lot of leaders is that they want to call me a sellout for saying that, but guess what? Don't nobody give me no money. I don't ask people for money, man, because whoever gives you your money, that's who controls your message. This is one reason why they're probably upset with me, because my message can't be controlled because don't nobody pay me. I do everything I do, man, out of the love of what the Spirit of God puts in my heart to do. I like to see justice. I like to see truth. I like to see righteousness. You know, some people are caught up in their religious ideologies. A lot of them are caught up in their political ideologies. Then you have people that's caught up in spiritual ideologies. Man, I just believe in one creator. I mean, that's different. I believe in one ultimate creator, but I believe in many beings that made this creation. My version of God is different, but I know one thing, he's universal. And again, evidently, even though I got a lot of faults, my ways are pleasing him so much that yesterday he even caused my enemies to be at peace with me. And hey, I'm at peace with that. So again, you know, if you wasn't willing to help me burn out, or you know what I'm saying, help us with transportation or get my truck out the impound, you know, I'm really not trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I say that in a respectful way, but the truth is what it is. Take it how you want to. You know, that man did a noble thing. I acknowledge that. And if you got a problem with that, that ain't my problem. That's yours. You need to check yourself, you know, mentally, spiritually, you know what I'm saying, and emotionally. I mean, I'm at peace, man. And now even my enemies are at peace. I'm still dealing with them on a couple issues that went public here in Shreveport. So I know I'm dealing with a whole lot more with these folks than y'all are. And I'm not finna sit up here and put myself in a situation where these folks can slam me, kill me, set me up, or whatever. But I am gonna speak up for truth and righteousness. Man, y'all be blessed, man.